Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. So we're going to take a look over here real quick. I sprayed the crap out of this. And it looks like it was effective. I'm going to be knocking that out of the tree. and checking that out. Alright, today is still Thursday. It is the 21st of July 2021. So this video, we're going to talk about learn from my mistakes, okay? I'm going to talk about an event that happened. I'm going to walk you through what happened, and then I'm going to tell you what the outcome was of this situation. So about a year ago, before I went to Sturgis, last year I went out to Sturgis. So my sister had Rosie, who was half pit bull and half something else. A very aggressive dog. The dog always liked me. I never had an issue with the dog. She always liked me. But if she didn't like you, the dog went after a lot of different people. Over the course of the dog's lifetime, it bit, I think it was 10 people. So what had happened, my sister Margie had come over for a visit, and they had Rosie on a lead. And, oh, I didn't even know you were out here, honey. Hi. They had, Margie had come over for a visit, and the dog jumped up, and it bit Margie, okay? So at that time, my mom was like, to my sister, oh my God, this dog is dangerous. What happens if it bites a kid, and blah, 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 and all those type of things. Now, Rosie was getting older. She had some health issues as well. She had been poisoned by somebody at one point, so she was blind in one eye. But like I said, if she liked you, you were good to go. If she didn't know you, she would try to bite you. So my sister thought it over for about a week, and then she came to me, and she said, Ed, I got to put Rosie down. She said, will you do it for me? And I'm going to tell you what, guys, anybody that watches this channel knows that I love animals. I grew up on a farm as a kid, and on the farm as a kid, if there was an animal that was mean or sick, the men put that animal down. That's why my sister came to me and she asked me to put that animal down, which I did. Okay, obviously I never showed that on video because I think that would be disgusting for somebody to get a kick out of something like that. But I discussed it, and I talked about how difficult it was to put that animal down, and I used it in the context of an SHTF event, and if you had to put an animal down and all those type of things, okay? So, we had buried the dog out back, and, that was the end of it, or so I thought. I put the video up discussing it, and my wonderful trolls called the police on me, and the video went up at 3 o'clock, and at 3:40 I had two sheriffs in my driveway. Now here's the point where I want to talk to you guys about learning from my mistakes. So these two young sheriffs come out of the car. One is training the other one, and he says, are you Ed Carswell? So anybody, you guys know my name, so I'm not even worried about saying that on here. I said, yes. He said, did you just shoot a dog? And I said, yeah, I put the dog down. All right. And the next thing I know, not only did I have those two cops here, I had two other cops come in. One ended up being a sergeant. And they're acting like they're my friends, and, we're having a conversation and the whole thing like that. And they're trying to figure out what they got to do in this situation. What they should have done is got in the car and left, is what they should have done. Because I put our own dog down on our own property. Now, the mistake that I made, folks, and I'm going to tell you right now, the mistake that I made was saying, yeah, I put a dog down. Nobody saw me put a dog down. Nobody saw anything. I talked about it on YouTube. I could have been fabricating the whole thing. I could have been making the whole thing up. If I had said to those police officers, I don't know what you're talking about, get off my property, guess what? They would have had to get off my property. They would have had to leave. There's nothing that they could have done. What do you want to investigate when there's nothing to investigate, right? That was my mistake. I can guarantee you this, my friends, I will never, ever make that mistake again. These officers are not your friends. They're not your pals. They are looking to jam you up. So, they confiscated the gun. So here was the threat. I just want you to know this is how it went down. I was not charged that particular day. So they're like, well, we want you to give up the gun voluntarily. And I'm like, why? I'm not being charged with anything. Well, we're doing an investigation and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I'm not giving up the gun. So this was the threat that was used. Either you give up that gun, or we will get a search warrant, and we will come back, and we will take all your guns and all your ammo. And guess what, folks? They don't like to give them back once they take them, just so you know. You'll never get your ammo back if they do that, okay? Just so you know. So again, I have not talked about this on video since this happened, but I felt enough time has gone by, and I'm going to run you through exactly what ended up happening. So they confiscated, so I gave them the gun. And so they dug up the dog, right? This dog is dead, it's buried. They dug up the dog, took the dog with them. And 2 days later, Becky and I were out for a ride. We were looking at where we did the prepper get-together at one of the American Legions. We had stopped there, and we were looking at that because we were, we had rented it already, but I hadn't really gone. Or no, I think I was looking at it first because then we were going to rent it. I get a phone call from the Sheriff's Department. They have decided to charge you with aggravated cruelty to animals. Which is a felony, just so you folks know, okay? And so they said you need to come down to the police station. We're going to fingerprint you, and do all that type of stuff. We're just going to process you, and then you'll be released on your own recognizances. So I go down, and I'm telling you the whole story. I've never talked about this again on YouTube before, but I will now because it doesn't matter anymore. But I'm using this as an educational tool for you guys so you don't go through this, okay? So I go down to the police station. Voluntarily, walked in on my own. The lady, they said, so the sheriff was going to meet me, so she meets me outside. She goes, well, come on outside. She goes, I got to put you in handcuffs. I got to put you in the back of the car, take you around to the back of the building. I'm like, are you serious? I'm voluntarily walking in, right? So that's what they did. Went in, they fingerprinted me, did all that type of stuff, took my pictures and stuff like that, and then I was, had a court date. Now, I was on, and this is New York, guys, I was on Channel 8, Channel 10, Channel 13 News. I was on Facebook. You can look it up. You can see it. My mugshot's there. You can see what the charges are, right? And what they put in the newspaper and what they put on the news was, and I'm going to break this down for you so you understand. They said, my name, charged with aggravated cruelty to animals for shooting a pit bull in the back of the head for an alleged aggressive history. Now, what did they left out? What did they leave out in that? They left out the fact that it was our own dog, right? They left that fact out. They left out the fact that the dog had bit my other sister the week before, which, oh yes, by the way, so the police took a statement from me that day. They took a statement from my sister Becky, and then they went to Rochester and got a statement from my sister Margie. And at the time, Margie was 71 years old, I believe, at the time. And this is what they said to her. If you're lying about this, you know you can get in trouble. Okay? So what are they trying to do, folks? What are they trying to do? They're trying to jam me up, right? So here I am, plastered all over the news like I'm some kind of villainous criminal. So I go to court the first time. They did nothing but delay it the first time to a second court hearing. And I said, and I said to this public defender guy that was there, I said, well, I'm going to Sturgis, in 2 weeks. I said, am I still allowed to go? And they were like, he goes, as long as you show up for your court date, you can go anywhere you want to go and do anything you want to do. I said, okay. So I get a notification, I get the second court date. And so the second court date is coming up. Letter comes in the mail. Both Becky and both Margie were being summoned in front of a grand jury. All right. I want you to think about the waste of resources in this situation on top of everything else. All right. I put my own animal down. I did it humanely. I did it with kindness. I did it with love. It died on our own property. The dog never knew what hit it. It never even yelped. I'm just giving you that information. Now, you may not like the way I did it. I really don't give a crap, to be honest with you. I grew up in the country. That's what we do out here. We take care of our own. The only mistake I made was talking about it on YouTube so Bleeding Hearts would act like a-holes and try to cause me problems. Now, go to the second court date. I consulted with a lawyer, too, to the tune of $100 to a consult with a lawyer. He said when you go to the second court date, they'll probably offer you something because the small towns can't prosecute felonies, so they'll offer you some kind of a plea deal and yada yada. The grand jury thing was, so my court date was on a Thursday. The grand jury was going to be the following Wednesday. And so they had said in this grand jury thing that after it goes to the grand jury, they don't do plea bargains anymore, right? So I go to court thinking they're going to offer me some kind of plea deal. Nope, no plea deal, nothing. I'm like, what in the heck is going on? I'm like, this is insane. Insane, right? So I contacted a lawyer, a different lawyer on the Monday. But then Monday afternoon, I got the best phone call that I've ever had in my life. It was a public defender for the town, the main town, the county. And she said to me, I wanted to let you know what's going on. The reason that they're sending it to the grand jury, they send felonies to the grand jury to die. They do not want to prosecute you on this thing. They want it to go away, so they're going to take it to the grand jury, have your sisters both testify at the grand jury, and hopefully it will be thrown out. Well, guess what, folks? That is exactly what happened. It went to the grand jury. They threw it out. So it's like I've never been charged with that. So some of you probably have heard or seen the different things. And like I said, I wanted to do a clarification. All right? But I'm going to tell you what. I went through a tremendous amount of headaches, a tremendous amount of stress. It was very aggravating to have to deal with this situation. So the moral of the story is this. If the police come up to your house wanting to ask you questions about anything, you don't tell them anything. You shut your mouth. That was my mistake. If I had said, I don't know what you're talking about, get off my property, there's nothing that they would have been able to do about it. Nothing. Okay? So it all ended up working out fine, but a lot of stress, a lot of frustration, a lot of aggravation, and a lot of wasted resources, in my opinion, by the police department. When I had the 4 cops here, I had said to them that day, I said, don't you guys got better things to do than go after a private citizen for putting his own dog down? I said, aren't there criminals out there, and doing things that are criminal? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, this warning is to say and show what happened to me in my situation. Some of you may have wondered. So I get a lot of people ask questions. So just so you know, trolls, I have one response for my trolls, and this is it. So if you don't like this response, guys, please don't watch this part. But there's my response to the trolls. All right? Sorry about that. I had to put that out there. So anyway, don't talk to the police. Lawyer up. I have nothing to say. Because everything you say everything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. It was a complete waste of time, a complete waste of resources, and so I'm just putting it out there. You need to be very, very careful. Obviously, if I ever had to put another animal down, I will not be talking about it on YouTube. Guaranteed. I'm not going through that again. So you have to be really, really careful. People are looking to cause you problems. That's part of life, unfortunately. So, wanted to share my story with you guys. Now, do I hate the police? Nope. But I'm going to tell you what, in this situation, I used to do back to blue runs. I'll tell you that right now. I used to do back to blue runs. I'll never do another back to blue run again. Because if they wasted time like that trying to get me jammed up for something, and I'm going to tell you what, guys, I had not been in trouble with the law. God, I'm trying to think when the last time. It was a long time. since I had been in trouble with the law. And to see what they tried to do to me really pissed me off. Really, really pissed me off. I could see if I had been some career-long criminal that caused all kinds of problems, in and out of jail all the time, that would have been different. But I'm not. So that really bothered me. That whole thing really bothered me. And now I will tell you this right now. I have a police officer in my group. He's a cool dude. I like him. So, you know, I mean, you know, it just, this situation with what they did was a game. And I don't like being games played on me. Now, if I do something I consider to be wrong, I got no problem owning up to it and taking my medicine. But again, word to the wise, don't talk to the police. Don't give them information. If I had just told them I don't know what you're talking about, get off my property, they would have had to go. There's nothing that they could have done. Nothing. So anyway, so that's the story. That was the outcome. It's like it never happened, except if you look me up on YouTube, or not YouTube, if you look me up on the internet, you'll see my mugshot. You'll see the charges. So there you go. So you'll know what happened. All right? Anyway, guys, I hope you all have a great day. Remember, we're all in this together. We're one race called the human race. Don't forget that. And also remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day, tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important to tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Also remember STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Oh, one last nugget for you on this thing. They never gave me the 22 back. They gave me some BS excuse. I've had background checks done on me before, never had an issue, and now all of a sudden there's a question and we can't give it back to you. Again, kiss my behind, all right? I know what I told him. I'll tell you what I told the cop. I said, go ahead and keep it. I'll have another 22 in 2 days. And guess what? I did. So there you go. All right? Anyway, guys, have a good one. I hope everybody's good. I will see you on the next one. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.